Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to begin with India Nepal relations. Actually, I have already talked about the political instability which had already been there in Nepal in the recent past. So if you have not watched that video, I would request you to watch that video first. Okay? So, India Nepal relations. The subheadings under which we will be talking about it are these. First one is importance of Nepal for India, areas of cooperation which are there between the two countries, areas of conflict which are there, and the way forward. Okay, so first of all, the thing is the significance or the importance. ठीक है जी. So the first point is the strategic location. Up now, Nepal, it's a buffer state between the two regional powers of India and China. And therefore, India needs to maintain its good relations with the Nepal because of its security dilemma which is there with respect to China. So that India can actually check the expansionist tendencies of its neighbors. Okay, neighbor, that here neighbor is basically talking about expansionist tendencies of China. Okay, so actually, see, important point to remember in international relations is you people need to use some specific terms, just like the expansionist tendency. This is a policy which China follows. Okay, so you people need to use these terms. Just like another is debt diplomacy, which is there, which is used with respect to China. So there are these various terms, just like security dilemma. I have talked about one thing about the chicken snake corridor, or that chicken snake dilemma, which we have talked about. So there are few terms related to. There are names which are given to the diplomacy. There is another five-finger diplomacy, which is of China. So these are the terms which you people need to use in your answers because they are going to provide an edge to your answers. Okay, so here just like there has been this expansionist tendencies of China, then it's a landlocked country sharing border with, and yes, definitely another strategic location. One is the buffer state between India and China, and the another thing is that it is sharing borders with five Indian states. Okay, so when we are talking about the five Indian states it is sharing borders with, four are very easy to know, but there is just fifth one. See, the four are Uttarakhand, UP, Bihar, Sikkim. They are clearly, but sometimes anybody can do this mistake of West Bengal. It's also sharing a small border with Nepal, so it's an important point to remember here. Okay, so it is sharing, five Indian states are sharing border with Nepal. So this is also one of the significance. Now, internal sec- oh, sorry. Now the internal security with respect to India. See, it is sharing borders with five states of Nepal, for five states of India. Okay, and important point is these are open borders. There is free movement of people between the two countries, and because of this free movement, however, the open borders, they are exploited for various illegal things as well. Illegal activities such as circulation of counterfeit Indian currency, human trafficking, narco trafficking, infiltration of terrorists backed by ISI or Pakistan. So this is also a internal security issue for India. That's why there is the significance of Nepal. So these are the two important. So talking about the next one is the cultural ties. We have cultural, historical, civilizational ties with Nepal. Culturally, India and Nepal are intricately intertwined. Lichavis from India went to Nepal in 300 AD. In 16th century, the first Gorkha rule was established in Nepal under Briya Shah, who was the Sisodia Rajput from Rajasthan. Like India, Hindus constitute the majority in Nepal. So, according to Hindu legend, Lord Ram, the Prince of Ayodhya, married Sita, who was the princess of Janakpur, which is in the present day Nepal. prominent languages of Nepal, such as Nepali, Bhojpuri, Maithili, they are having their origin in Indian languages of Sanskrit, Hindi, and Pali. Then talking about, see, we have talked about Hinduism, then now about Buddhism. Buddhism originated and flourished in Nepal and India. Gautam Buddha was born in Lumbini, which is a city which is in the present day Nepal, and got enlightenment in India. Okay, so this is about Buddhism. So that's why we can say that the historical, cultural, and civilizational ties are there between these two neighbors. So that's why this cultural significance of Nepal. Okay, then is the people to people ties. When it comes to people ties, the relations have been called as roti beti ka rishta. As there is roti is basically significant for the interdining, and when it comes to roti beti is for cross border marriages. So there is this interdining tradition of interdining and also cross border marriages between India and Nepal. So that's why it is called as roti beti ka rishta. Nepal has a population of, then another point is Nepal has population of around 29 million, and around 7 million live and work in India. Then is Indian Army has Gorkha Regiment, which recruits Nepali Gorkhas. So these are about people to people ties. In people to people ties, we can also include about the cultural ties as well. Okay, so these are various people to people ties, and because of which Nepal is significant for India. And because of these, there is another important thing which you can write as your introduction or as your conclusion in a question, that is in any kind of question which might be there. Because of these close people to people ties, there is a comment that the two countries are lodged in each other's intestines. Okay, so there is this comment, just like in intestines, you people must know about the small intestine, that how closely packed it is. So this kind of statement is made about India Nepal relationship, that these countries are lodged in each other's intestines. So this is about the significance of Nepal for India. Okay, now the next topic we are going to talk about is the areas of cooperation which are there between the two countries. Beginning with economic cooperation, so beginning with the trade. India is Nepal's largest trade partner. In 22-23 year, India exported goods worth US dollar 8 billion to Nepal, while its imports were at US dollar 840 million. Actually, India is enjoying trade surplus with Nepal. Indian firms are among the largest investors in Nepal, accounting for more than 30% of the total approved foreign direct investment. Nepal's main imports from India, what are these? These are petroleum products, motor vehicles, spare parts, etc. Apart from that, India provides transit from almost entire third country trade of Nepal via Kolkata port. Since Nepal is a landlocked country, so India is providing access to the sea. Okay, so this is via Kolkata port, and a revised treaty of transit was signed in 2023, which will enable Nepal to use Indian ports such as Haldia, Kolkata, Paradeep, Visakhapatnam port for the third country trade. And it is also because since India is providing this access, so that's why it's going to reduce transportation costs and time for the Nepalese exporters and importers. So this is about the trade relations which are there between India and Nepal. See, few points you definitely need to remember. Although definitely many things, there are a lot many things which are going to come, like many connectivity projects are going to be there, which might be difficult for you to remember, but yes, few you must remember. Okay, so trade, I think this is very simple and you can remember all these things, and these are important as well, so you should. Okay, now the next thing. Next thing is about connectivity and developmental partnership. See, when it comes to connectivity and developmental partnership, there are various projects. There are various railway links. There are various other developmental projects which are there between the two countries. And I know it is not possible to remember all of them. It'll be really good that if you're able to remember all of them, but at least you should read them for any kind of question which might be there in the prelims. Okay, but yes, for mains you should remember few of the examples which are important ones. Okay, so the connectivity and the developmental partnership which is there between India and Nepal. India is the largest developmental donor of Nepal, with major portion of developmental assistance focused on large-scale infrastructure projects. Like India is providing assistance to Nepal for various large-scale infrastructure projects under grants, which are necessary for rapid development of Nepal in the fields of priority sectors such as health, education, and connectivity. So how is it doing that? So this is about majorly about the connectivity projects or various projects. So some of the major projects have been undertaken and completed with the Government of India grant assistance, which include Gochar Airport. I don't know like whether I'm pronouncing these right or not, but yes, you can remember the spellings. Presently, Tribhuvan Airport, East West Highway, Nepal Bharti, Nepal Bharat Maitri Emergency and Trauma Center, which is the first trauma center with aims like specialization, Trichand College developmental projects in Tribhuvan University, BP Koirala Institute of Health Science, Dharan, construction of 5-story OPD complex of Beer Hospital. So these are the various projects which have been undertaken and completed with the Government of India's grant assistance. Okay, I would request you to learn few of these names so that you can include as an example. Various connectivity projects have been there. These are there between the two countries: Jayanagar, Bijalpura, Bardibas rail link, which is Nepal's first ever broad gauge line, Gojbani Biratnagar rail link, Roxal Kathmandu rail link, Hulaki Terai Road, integrated checkposts which are at Bir Gunj, Biratnagar, Nepal Gunj, and Bhairava. The first cross-border broad gauge passenger train service between Jayanagar in Nepal and Kurtha in India, which was flagged off during the visit of the former Sher Bahadur Shah Duba, who had come to India from this to this. So 1st to 3rd April 2022. So actually the dates are not important. You must remember the example. There are various examples. The first free train service between India and Nepal. Then in order to boost connectivity in the far western region of Nepal, there has been construction of a motorable bridge in Dhachula, which began in this date. Dates are not remembered, but yes, there is this construction of a motorable bridge between with the grant under the grant assistance by India. Another project is under India's grant assistance is the construction of National Police Academy of Nepal, the first cross-border petroleum pipeline in South Asia connecting Motihari in India to Amlekganj in Nepal, which was completed in the year of 2019. There are various few other petroleum lines petroleum pipelines which have been in the 7th India Nepal Joint Commission. There has been the beginning of the new pipelines as well, and I'll be talking about that later on in the current affairs part. Okay, so this is about the first cross-border petroleum pipeline in South Asia. This is about it. I think you must remember this thing and few examples from above portion as well. Okay, so next one is the implementation of high impact community developmental projects in building hospitals, school, colleges, drinking water facilities, sanitation, drainage, rural electrification, hydropower, embankment and river training works, so as to improve the quality of life which is at the local level. And the cap for each project has been increased to 20 crores in January 2024. And also, since 1994, Government of India has distributed 1009 ambulances and 300 school buses to different parts of Nepal. These services have been extended to contribute to the healthcare which is there in Nepal. Okay, this was about the grant assistance which were being provided by India, and when it comes to like there are not only the grant assistances which has been provided by Nepal, but there have been line of credits as well. Government of India has extended line of credit of US dollar 1.65 billion for undertaking the developmental projects of infrastructure, including the post-earthquake reconstruction projects. Government of India's line of credits have financed several projects in Nepal, mostly roads, transmission lines, and reconstruction projects in the country. Okay, so this is about the everything about the connectivity projects and various other connectivity projects. I will also be talking about in the when I'll be talking about the recent current affairs wala portion. Like there has been a recent meeting, and what are the outcomes of that meeting, or what have been the major developments. Okay, so now about the defense cooperation. So when I be talking about defense cooperation, India and Nepal have long-standing, extensive, mutually beneficial cooperation in the field of defense and security. One thing I've already told about that, how the people from Gorkha regiment, they are from Nepal region. Okay, this is one thing. India and Nepal have long-standing tradition of awarding honorary ranks of general to each other's army chief. Strong relations have been further cemented via Gorkha regiment. Currently, around 32,000 Gorkha soldiers are from Nepal, which are serving in the Indian Army. Then is the name of the joint military exercise. See, it's very important for you people to remember it, because there has been a question in the 2024 prelims as well about the Mitra Shakti joint exercise. So you people must remember about the Surya Kiran joint exercise which is there between India and Nepal. At the battalion level is conducted in both Nepal and India on the rotational basis. So this is about the defense cooperation which is there between the two countries. Okay. So next one is energy sector cooperation. When it comes to energy sector, first power, India and Nepal have a power exchange agreement since the year of 1971 for meeting the power requirements in the border areas. In 2023, India agreed to the first trilateral power trade from Nepal to Bangladesh through India for up to 40 megawatts of power. There is hydropower cooperation in India and Nepal as well. Okay, so when it comes to the hydropower corporation, so I will be talking about it in the greater detail next time. And, in the basically this is there is some issue with in this context, so I'll be talking about in the bilateral issues topics. Okay, so this is about the hydropower corporation. Then is the digital connectivity. This is also a news of the recent past. Like India and Nepal have launched a cross-border digital payment mechanism to facilitate seamless inter-country financial transactions. So there is this digital payment mechanism which have been launched between India and Nepal. So this is about the digital connectivity. Then comes the multilateral cooperation. There are various organizations which both the countries are the part of as a part of BBIN, that is Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal. This then is BIMSTEC. BIMSTEC is nothing but Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. Nepal had also joined the non-aligned movement, SARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Nepal also joined India-led International Solar Alliance. See, these regional organizations of BBIN, BIMSTEC, SARC, I'll be talking about these in the detail, like after I will be completing about all the neighborhood relations, and after that we will be talking about the regional organizations. Okay, so I'll be talking about them in the great detail. Okay, this is about the multilateral cooperation both the countries are the part of. See, when it comes to when we are talking about areas of cooperation, we will write about the cultural cooperation and the people to people ties as well. Okay, and I have already discussed about the cultural cooperation as well as the people to people ties, so I will request you people, like whenever you'll be writing any kind of answer and anything related to the areas of cooperation, you need to write these 2 points as well, and you can take the points from the significance, like under the significance heading where I have talked about it. You can take the points from there and complete it. Okay, so these 2 points are also there about the cultural cooperation, about the areas of cooperation between the two countries. Okay, so this is all about the areas of cooperation which are there between the countries of India and Nepal. Now there's this question: there are unparalleled people to people ties between India and Nepal, but the same is not resonated at the state to state level. Why is that so? In fact, the relations have remained fraught with various challenges. Examine the statement. Okay, so we are going to answer this question. We have already talked about it, that yes, there are good relations, that yes, there are like various what I said, there are very good people to people ties. There is that roti beti ka rishta, where it is called as, there is this thing which are very good relations on various aspects, but still the same is not resonated at the state to state level. Why have the relations, they are fraught with challenges? Why the relations have been fraught with challenges? What are the reasons behind that? So let's examine, let's write an answer to this question. See, whenever writing this question, so there, yes, there will be, we'll be talking about how there are people at people to people ties. Firstly, there will be an introduction where you can write about that yes, there are roti beti ka rishta, you can use that term because this is officially used bit for India and Nepal relations, so you can use it in your introduction. You can give examples then how there are people to people ties between the two countries, and then you need to explain, then you will talk about that the same thing is not resonated at the state to state level. Then you will have to give give the reasons about it, that why the same things are not resonated at the level of, at the state to state level. Okay, so since we have already talked about half of the things about the people of people to people ties, we have already talked about, and now the thing is, why is it not resonated at the state to state level? We'll be talking about it. See, the first thing, India doesn't have an independent Nepal policy. India's Nepal policy is a subset of India's China policy. India has looked at Nepal from the lens of China. Given India's security dilemma with respect to China, India seeks to micromanage affairs in Nepal. See, I have told you this thing. The location of Nepal, it's a buffer state which is there between the two of the regional powers of India and China. India is having security dilemma with respect to China. And the problem is that India is not having an independent foreign policy which is with respect to Nepal only. India has always looked at Nepal from the lens of China. Okay, so that's why this is one of the major reason that the same things, like just like there are people to people ties, the same thing is not resonated at the state to state level. Okay, then is in cognizance of the Nepal's location, landlocked between India and China. Nepal has always sought to pursue a diversified foreign policy, like independent foreign policy with respect to both the countries. But India is not happy with it. India actually wants that Nepal should prioritize. India wants that Nepal should prioritize India. Okay, in its foreign relationship. But the thing is, Nepal is too big a country, like it's 45th in size, and too proud a country of its known colonial past to be any other country's vassal state. Vassal state is like doing everything as per what a more powerful state will be saying to you. Okay? But Nepal, when its size is good enough, it's proud of its past, it's having a non-colonial past, and that's why it is like it's too big a country and too proud a country to be any other country's vassal state. Then is another reason, other reasons are also there. These first three are the main reasons, but there are various other reasons as well. These are the political instability in Nepal. I have already talked about the political instability in Nepal, which has been there in the recent past after the 2022 November elections in Nepal. I've already talked about in the last video. I would request you people to watch that video for sure. So in Nepal, and when it talks about since in 2008, democracy has been established in Nepal. And in the past 16 years, 13 governments have changed in the country. Okay, so there's political instability. This is also one of the reason. Then is India's inability to deliver the promised projects in time. There has been many times that India has been, there are projects which have been kept uncompleted for very long time. This is also one of the reason. Then is India has often overlooked diplomatic protocols with Nepal. And the example of that is that 1950 friendship treaty was there between India and Nepal, and this was actually concluded between Nepali Prime Minister and Indian ambassador. See, whenever a treaty is concluded between two countries, it's important that the officials of the same, we can say, the same precedents in the particular country, they should be at signing or concluding a particular treaty. In Nepal, the prime minister of the country has signed concluded the treaty, but from Indian side an ambassador from India did that. So this was definitely a hurting the Nepali pride. Okay, so these are the various reasons that the same things are not the same things are actually not there, or they are not resonated at the state to state level as well between India and Nepal. Okay, so this is what we can talk about it. So this is how I think you people are now clear about this thing, about this question. You can easily write an answer to this question. I would request you people to write an answer to this question at your own level. And okay, so this is all for today. This was what I was wanted to discuss about today. In the next class we will be talking about the bilateral issues which are there between the two countries, be it with respect to the 1950 friendship treaty, be it with respect to China and Nepal, be it with respect to, there are some problems with respect to hydropower cooperation between the two countries as well. So we'll be talking about that in the greater detail, and also about the territorial issues which are there, about the Lipu Lake and this territorial dispute which is there between the two countries. Okay, so we'll be talking about it in the next class. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next class. Till then, bye bye. Take care.